Hey, it's Kim. Thanks for tuning in to today's video where I'm going to be showing you the Sterling Ink Common Planner for 2023. I'm going to kind of walk you through how I intend to use it for 2023 and also just to talk you through my first impressions for the planner. Now we all know I'm terrible at unboxings, therefore I've already unboxed it. So because I can't wait. I received it last night, late last night. So of course I unboxed it immediately. It was very well packaged, but what I did want to show you guys is that it comes in this box. It gives me kind of like Apple vibes in terms of the boxes that it's in, but I think this is so amazing. I'll put it in here. And basically, this is how it was packaged, and then it slides right into this outer box, and it has a little pull tab at the end. And I think this is so amazing, especially if you're the type who likes to archive your bound books at the end of the year, and then you can sit it on a shelf. You can maybe label this side with, you know, the year that it's for. You can label this side, whatever, however you choose to do it. I think this is an amazing idea, and I will absolutely be saving this box so I can archive this at the end of the year. So now that that's said and done, let's get into the actual planner. So for 2023, I'll be using this as my business planner. And you can see the spine does say 2023 and it also says B6. On the front, we have a full year common planner, and then on the back, common planner designed by Sterling Ink. There is a very detailed video all about the components of the planner on Catherine, who is the owner of Sterling Ink. She has a YouTube page, which I'll link down below, but she goes through all the details of the actual planner, what's inside, and all of that good stuff. So while I won't flip you through those specifics exactly, I'm going to walk you through all the ways that I intend to use it. So like I was saying, I do plan to use this for 2023 as my business planner. Oh, but before I get into that, I just want to say I'm really excited that all of these planner companies are coming out, or stationery companies are coming out with planners in non-traditional sizes. So sizes that we don't see too often. B6 is one of those sizes that I absolutely love. I had plans to use a B6 as my business planner for 2023 already. I had pre-ordered a different one, and then as soon as I saw that this was available or this was coming, I canceled that pre-order because I knew that this would be the one for me. And it's primarily because everything is all in one place, and we have a lot of notes pages. We have the yearly layout, monthlies, weeklies, all of those things I know that I would personally need. With that said, I really wish someone would come out with something like this in standard traveler's notebook size. That is the size I love for my daily planning. And if someone just came out with one, I wouldn't have to cut down a Hobonichi cousin. But I digress. Maybe in the coming years, someone will do exactly that. So I'm crossing my fingers and really hoping that they do. Anyway, I'll be using this as my business planner, which I've said 17 times already, and it will be housed in my Giglio Charcoal Matte Croco B6 Appunto. I feel like that's a mouthful, but I haven't used this at all in 2022. I used it, I believe, most of the year in 2021, yes, because I was in a B6 that whole year. I really do love this cover. However, this won't be staying in this for 2023. I have another cover on its way to me, and it's primarily just because I feel as though the B6 Appunto, actually I feel as though most of the Appuntos are a little too big for my liking. I like a cover that fits really snug. And while I know that this will expand because it's Tomo River paper, with use it'll expand and it'll get wider, I still feel like this is way too much room for me. Like that really bugs me. So I have a different planner cover that I'll be using for this so that it won't annoy me too much. But until then, it will live inside this B6 Appunto from Giglio. I don't yet have anything set up in the pockets. I'm also not a huge fan of the pocket configuration for these Appuntos because the pockets have to be turned or the cards, if you use them, have to be turned vertically, and I just don't have a use for that in any kind of way. All right, so let's get right into it. If you don't know, B6 is around about, I was going to say about a 5.7 size. It's not quite. It's something like maybe 6.8 in height and like 4.9 in width. I could be wrong. It's something around those numbers. But to give you an idea, it's about 5 by 7. Little smaller than 5 by 7. So I do have a few sticky tabs in here telling me what I'm going to use or what I'm going to put in certain areas. And I did already go ahead and add a bit of deco in here. So I do intend to add a dashboard to house sticky notes, I think. And that kind of depends on the pocket configuration of the cover that I have coming. I actually don't have a particular or specific area that I'm thinking of where the sticky notes would go. So I'll likely put together some kind of dashboard for sticky notes, and I'll probably have it in the front cover. As you can see, I already added like a decorative piece of vellum, and it's an image that I found on Pinterest. So I just printed that out on a piece of vellum, and it's the intro page. My theme for this year in my business planner is going to be like some greens. So some like different and varying shades of green. So that's what we're going with. And you open it up, it has the typical intro page for the planner. And this is always that page that's glued to the cardstock or the heavier cardstock. So it kind of attaches to it. So it's really not a very useful page. So I'll probably clip all of this together. We'll see. So that I flip this way. And then here we go, like another image that I found on Pinterest of something that I feel would be useful or just pretty to look at every time I come into my planner. And I'm going to turn the lighting down just a little bit, and hopefully you can see more of the detail on the pages. So here we have the year on one page for 2023, and I love that the weeks are numbered. That is something I feel like a lot of planners don't include for some reason, but I appreciate when the weeks are numbered because I do track those. And then this is a 2-page spread of just notes, like a grid note page. And what I have here is the vision board that I put together with all the shades of green, and I did not tape it or clip it to this grid page. I think I will, but I printed it on Tomoe River paper so that it's really thin, and that if I glued it to there, it would fit in just fine. But this is my like vision board of those soothing greens that I talked about to welcome me into my planner. So this is what I feel like is really what I need in a business planner. This spread focuses mostly on goals, and this is exactly what I need, exactly how I need it for a business planner, because it takes those goals and it breaks it down into what you expect to have happen in 1 year, half a year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. And on this page, there's room for 6 separate goals or separate goal categories. And I truly do appreciate this being included, because I'm the type of person who, for business purposes, I do want to break out my goals in a more granular type of way to know what I need to do weekly, daily, monthly, and so on. I also do appreciate that there's a lot of space for 6 different goals. So even if I have maybe only 3, let's say for like the start of the year, then I could put together 3 more for the remainder of the year once we get halfway through, however I choose to use it. So I do love that feature. Another thing that I do love about this for business purposes is that the spreads for the quarterlies, over on the left you have a section for priorities, and then you have a section for each month of the quarter. So for quarter 1, we've got January, February, and March. And I'll actually get you in a little bit closer. So if you can see the goal breakdown page, that's there. And then On the next page for quarter one, you have your section for priorities and then a section for January, February, and March. And over on the right, we have like a linear list for each month. So January, February, March, and you have a little section up at the top for some kinds of notes or maybe some other types of tracking that you're going to do, and then the same type of section down at the bottom. And I feel like this would really come in handy if you needed to track sales or if you wanted to track revenue, profit, whatever you wanted to do on a monthly basis and kind of see how it compares over the course of a quarter or over the course of a cycle. So this is very handy, I think. And you get a two-page spread for each quarter. And then you get into the monthlies, and you are given a monthly for December 2022, and the monthlies go until January of 2024. So while you're given a monthly for December 2022, you are not given weeklies for 2022. I actually appreciate that because I use my planners from January to December, so I don't really need December in this book, but there are some people who like to start a planner in like November or December and may have a problem with the fact that there are no weeklies for the end of 2022 in here. So here on the monthlies, what I'm thinking I'm going to do, and I was just trying to test to see if these square page flags I have will fit in the boxes or how they fit in the boxes. I can imagine that, especially for my YouTube videos, I would use this space. Last year I was using a Hobonichi Weeks and it worked out just fine, but I would use this space to plot out what weeks I'm going to post which videos. And of course, until they're finalized, I'll put them on these little page flags and just move them around wherever I might need them. So with that, I'll note that this planner will be used as my business planner as well as some YouTube kind of stuff. So it's everything outside of my regular 9-to-5 job, basically. So that's what I would definitely use these month overviews for, and also for any kinds of project planning related to my business. So if there are certain timelines, deadlines, maybe like a 4-week period that I'm working on some specific project, I could plot it out here on the month overviews. And like I said, those go through to January 2024, and then you get into the weeklies, which is a vertical weekly, similar to a Hobonichi Cousin if you're used to that, and it goes from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. And you do have a few lines up at the top of each week for notes, and also at the bottom of each week, and you have like a note section over on the left as well. Now this is the part that I kind of struggled with in terms of what I would use the weekly layout for as it relates to business. I would definitely, I think, kind of customize this spread. So I can see myself using maybe like the top third of the page to write down any day specific tasks or day specific deadlines or things that I need to be aware of or stay on top of. And then the bottom will be more so for a running list of tasks that I need to complete for the week. So I may use something like an Alistair method, which will be like a long list of tasks, and then I'll just note which day of the week the task was completed, and then maybe jot down some other week specific notes on this spread as well. I have it all plotted out in my head. I've done this type of spread before. So when I do come back, and I'll show you maybe in a couple of months after I've been using the planner for a while to give you a sense of if it's working for me and how it's working for me, I'll be able to show you those examples. But in the meantime, I will say that I appreciate the layout that is given, and I also appreciate the fact that the weekly layout or the lines in general throughout the whole planner are not too dark. So that is something for a person like me who likes to do different layouts whenever and however. I do appreciate that because I find, and this is just giving you an example like in the Hobonichi Cousin, I find that the lines in the Hobonichi Cousin border on almost too dark to be able to kind of play with the layout in any kind of way other than vertical. The lines almost get in the way if you want to, let's say, write across multiple lines or multiple days. Whereas in the Common Planner, they are much lighter and it would be much easier to write across those lines. I could, however, see that this might be a negative for some people who like bolder separations between the days. So depending on who you are and how you like to plan, you may like it, you may hate it. I don't know. But for me, it's a go. For me, it's a positive. So you get all of the weeklies throughout the year, and then we get to another 2-page spread. Well, you get to the notes section, and it starts with a blank grid page on this side and a blank grid page on this side where the page number starts with number 1. So here is what I'm thinking, and I also put my same vision board that I created up in the front that I have up here that was printed on the paper. I printed this on vellum back here, and I'm thinking on the left I'll use this as an index, and because it's B6 size, I do have enough space to maybe do a 2-column index. I don't know that I will index that many things, but it gives me a good amount of space that I'm sure will last a pretty long time through these notes pages. So let me back up just a little bit. So that's what I intend to use the left side for, and then the right side I'll probably get right into my notes pages. And this was another selling point for me in terms of using this as my business planner. I like to have what I call a brainstorming notebook, and I do separate them by topic. I used to not. I just kept one notebook and I would write down everything, anything and everything, no matter the topic, no matter what it related to. And as you might imagine, it was kind of a mess if I was trying to sift through it to find what I wrote regarding, I don't know, anything. It was almost impossible to kind of index it. So then I decided to keep brainstorming notebooks based on topics. So I do have a business brainstorming notebook. So I love the fact that I can keep that brainstorming notebook in this planner as well. And I should say that my brainstorming notebook is typically ideas or thoughts that I have that I want to jot down and I want to return to later. It may be projects that are date specific. So if there's a Q2 project that I'm working through in the beginning of the year, I'll have all the information and the notes related to that project back here in the notebook. So it's not necessarily things that I need to carry forward year after year after year. It's primarily things that would be related to this specific year. So this is a great feature for me to have this amount of notes pages also contained with the planner. So that's another detail that I'm excited about. So that's how I will set up my notes pages, and that's how they're going to be used. I imagine I will want a lot of different trackers as well. I think I'm going to track things like profit and revenue and sales and all of that back here in the notes pages, and I will likely tab them off in some kind of creative way. So that will be very beneficial. I was thinking I could track things like views and YouTube stats, but I don't track that stuff now, so I can't imagine I'll start. But I have the option to if I want to, because I have, how many sheets? I have 369 sheets of blank paper. I feel like the world is my oyster. I can do a lot with that many pages of blank paper. So I'm very excited to get into this planner. I'm very excited because I think it will work extremely well for me for this coming year. So I hope that was helpful to anyone out there who you're trying to get a sense of if this planner is going to work for you, what you can do with the different sections of the planner, and how you can make it fit your life should you need to. I'll have anything I mentioned linked down below, and if you have any questions or anything for me, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.